Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shannon Margaret B, and I'm so happy to have you here. And last year I did do some author backlist videos where I was reading a full author's backlist, like Catherine Steadman and Stacey Willingham, and those went really well. They were really fun. So I'm excited to do it again this week with Wendy Walkers. So she has 6 physical books out. And I've already read 2. This went so well and I loved it so much that it made me really want to see her whole backlist because Wendy Walker has a new ice skating thriller called Blade coming out, I think February 2nd, I want to say. I will link below the video where I read The Night Before. This was a really fun online dating psychological thriller. And then in that video, I also talked about how I've read All Is Not Forgotten quite a while ago and really enjoyed it. It was very twisty and grippy. And then in this vlog, I'm going to read the rest of her backlist, which I got from the library. And it's really funny because Wendy Walker is a Connecticut native writer. So that is why they have like these local author stickers, which I think is so funny. So we're going to read American Girl, Don't Look for Me, What Remains, Emma in the Night, which I think I'm going to end up starting with this one just because I don't know, something about it. I just want to start with this one. Her books are all psychological thrillers. I think also throughout this video, I think I'm going to do a tier ranking. So we're going to start with The Night Before in spot number 1 and All Is Not Forgotten in spot number 2, just because I don't remember All Is Not Forgotten enough to give it like a full rating. And we will see as I read which ones I start ranking where. I just thought it would be more fun to do it that way because I think reading the same author, I'm probably going to give out a lot of the same ratings and it's not going to be as interesting. And I think it would be fun to let you know which one ends up being my ultimate favorite of hers. I'm really excited for this week. We are also getting ready for a crazy snowstorm. So I'm praying that we don't lose power because that would not be fun and that would really throw a wrench into the weekend. And also for crafting, although this was one that I bought for Halloween, I just think it's so fun and I really wanted to get to it. So I'm going to start this horror, like Girl with a Monster diamond art this week. And I'll be still knitting my blanket that's taking me forever. But it is Friday morning and I'm ready for the weekend. So I'm going to go off to work so I can come home and get started on some reading later. Here for some updates. The night is going very well. It's Friday night and there was a close call that I was going to have to work tomorrow on Saturday, but I don't have to. I've mentioned in a few vlogs now that I went back to tax accounting. So I started a new job a couple weeks ago and it's going really well, but we are gearing up for tax season. Crafting update. So I set up my whole diamond art like case that I use. It honestly just makes doing the projects like 10 times easier. And I started this outline of the words on the top. It will look so fun when it's done. I am halfway through Emma in the Night. I am on page 150. I'm in the midst of chapter 11. So these chapters are going by quick. I read probably about 80 pages and then I just listened to some of them while I was doing all of this crafting stuff. It was so nice and relaxing actually after like a busy week. This book is going so well. I have a lot to say about this book so far. In Emma in the Night, we are following Cass. So Cass, when she's 15 and her sister's 17, they go missing. And they go off and no one knows where they are, if they are alive. A lot of people think that they just died, or they think that maybe they got recruited in some type of cult or religious organization, or they just like don't know where these girls went. After 3 years, Cass just shows up back at her home. And her mom like doesn't even recognize. When Cass returns home, she says, I'm here to get help for Emma. We have to try to find Emma. And pretty much the case is reopened. So we're getting the unraveling of Cass's story being told. She's telling the like forensic psychologist, I want to say it is. And that is one of my favorite things that's going on in this book, and something that I'm really enjoying about Wendy Walker in general is her books are, I understand they're psychological thrillers, but they really go into the psyche of people. Like, it's very interesting. This book has a lot about narcissism, and I'm very interested to see in the end of the book if she says anything about like all of the research she has to do, learning a bit about Emma's family and her past, and her mother's past and her mother's marriages. It's going very in depth about childhood, and but like there's still like such this thrilling aspect that's getting you through the book. And I like the chapters. It's going from like one chapter of Cass's side and her perspective on things, and then we're going to the forensic psychologist. I feel like sometimes when something's called like a psychological thriller, it wants to just like confuse the reader, but I almost feel like we're learning so much about the psychology that like it's explaining all of the confusing stuff as we go, but it's still like really gripping and thrilling. She signed it. So cool. So I'm like, I wonder if she did a like event at my local library at some point when this came out. I don't know when this one came out. This one came out in 2017. So I wasn't even living here yet. For all of the updates, we had such a nice day. We tried a new lunch spot. We got some yummy Mexican, and we tried a new brewery, which in Connecticut, let me tell you, breweries are popping up all over the place, and it is so much fun. But we are always the youngest people, and we always get ID'd, and people look at us funny, but it is what it is. We're almost 30, and we just look young. So I don't mind. That's not a bad problem to have. Craft update. I finished the full like horror, and I'm so excited. I think tomorrow I'm really going to focus on like the monster piece of this, and then probably during the week I'll focus on the face. But this was so much fun to do. I'm so glad that I started on this. This was so good. I'll put it over here what my current tier ranking is. This is 100% first spot. This really delves into the psyche of families and sisterhood, the impact that your parents have on your life, specifically your mother. Cass, who is Emma's sister who returns home, her character was just so interesting. This book was really great. The twisties and turnies did not stop. It went all the way through the book. So I highly recommend this. I think the next book I'll try out is American Girl. So this was actually an Audible original, but they put it into a printed book, which is really cool. But this book is pretty short. It's only 230 pages. I just finished American Girl by Wendy Walker, so I'm coming to you live from the recliner. This book was a ride today. This book is only 230 pages, but it was fully a ride. The story follows Charlie, and Charlie works at the sandwich stop in town. She is top of her class, super smart, super athletic. There's her life with autism. And one day, the owner of the sandwich shop slash like town councilman, head honcho in the town, is found dead, and she has something to do with it, and we don't know what she has to do with it. This book is told completely through Charlie's perspective, which is really interesting, and it covers a lot of like young teen life and puberty and growing up and relationships. And they have the mother-daughter relationship I definitely was not in love with. We're trying to figure out what the heck Charlie has to do with this murder of the town councilman, because no one can figure out what happened. It is a very like not twisty, but I would say like intricate story. Like there's a lot of detail and a lot of people who know a lot of different things. And I'm glad I didn't update you in the middle, because in the middle, I was starting to feel like, I was like, oh my God, this is getting really repetitive. I don't really understand. I was like, this is feeling really tedious. But then by the end, like, as with a lot of thrillers, like, you get to the end and you're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Like, now I get why this was all in here and what this was for. But I think it was really interesting to read a story from the perspective of someone with autism, because you're really in her head and the things that make her tick. And you're feeling so compassionate, but also like angry with her for how people treat her and how they think about her life and her future. And you just want to like jump in the book and be like, oh my God, you guys suck. It's definitely an intricate friend group, and the friend group revolves around all the people that work in the sandwich shop. So that was like a fun aspect to it. But I really like how Wendy Walker like writes, just like getting into the mind of the characters to understand why things are done or why they see the things they do. I will miss Charlie. I love Charlie. She had some really funny moments too, of things like she was just like, and then I just did that because I wanted to do that. And I was like, solid Charlie. Like, so I really loved her as a character, and I thought it was a great way to explain also just some things about autism that I didn't know before. I had such a great day with this book, and I don't know if you can hear the storm raging outside right now. We got a crazy amount of snow. I think I'm probably gonna have to work from home tomorrow, which I haven't really worked from home for this job before. We still have power, so I'm really happy about that. I just checked the outage map like an hour ago, and there's only a few little outages everywhere, so I'm hoping that we're good. But yes, so we are going to insert this into the tier ranking system we have going. The Night is still at the top. I love the sister relationship. I love the twistiness. I don't know, this is so hard to rank them. I think I have to put this in the second spot because I just think I bonded to Charlie a lot more than I did in The Night Before with that main character. This is going in spot number 2. It's not going to dethrone Emma in The Night, but I do think I just liked the character development of Charlie so much that, like, I think I'll remember this one maybe more than I would remember The Night Before. Did do some diamond yarning before and had to switch to an audiobook to do that. So I did get a little bit through What Remains. I want to switch to some knitting and do some more diamond art tonight, and I need a good audiobook to do that. So I think that's what we're going to do right now, actually. So it is the next day. It's actually Monday, and I got to work from home today, which is never really gonna happen. And it actually snowed more today, which was very confusing. I ended up plowing through What Remains. So in this one, we were following Elise, and she is a detective, and one day she goes into a department store and there ends up being a shooting, and she has to shoot someone to save all these other people's lives. And she's grappling with like, did I really need to shoot him? I feel really upset that I did that. Learning about the person that she saved in the store kind of becomes obsessed with her, and his name is Wade, and he is an interesting fella, and it leads us onto a crazy, tumultuous, somewhat stalkery situation. Also flashing to something called like the kill room, where a murder took place, and it had to do with hunting, and there's just some creepy things going on in there. I didn't bond with this one as much as I bonded like with the other characters. I didn't bond much with Elise as a character. I felt like some of the decisions she made confused me. And then like I didn't really understand her marriage very well, or like why she did some of the things that she did and the decisions she made. I didn't always agree with. I just couldn't relate as much to the detective. And I felt like she was like teensy bit like unlikable. I feel like obviously the characters in the other books, they're more psychological, and you're like, oh, do you agree with this person or do you not? But there's like a psychological element to it. I'm going to put this on the bottom in the tier ranking after All Is Not Forgotten. Not that it's not a good book. I just think compared to her other books, I liked other ones way more. I was more like gripped into other ones. But tonight I'm going to read Don't Look For Me, and that will conclude me reading Wendy Walker's Backlist in time for Play to come out. It's starting to get a little stir crazy, so I think I might have to like try a different craft. so pale. We're here for the final update of the vlog. You will have seen I started this punch needle kit, and I got this for $2 from Walmart a while ago. The punch needling did not go very well, but I actually watched a ton of videos after I did it, and then I realized everything that I did wrong. So this was the little project I started, and it looks so bad, but I think I actually can take it out and try to redo it. I don't know if I'll continue on doing this. I mean, I got the kit for $2, but yeah, I definitely made a lot of errors. Like I wasn't letting the punch needle go all the way through. And then I was turning my hand weird, which you're not supposed to do. I was doing some coloring in one of my other vlogs, and I actually decided to start another one. So not too much going on it yet, but we're starting on it. Started to get through some of like the monster, but still a long way to go. But I think the colors are just so fun. Back to Wendy Walkers. So Don't Look for Me. I really enjoyed this one. Look, we're following Molly, and she's a mom who is considered like a walk away. One night she gets stuck in a storm coming home from seeing her son's, I forget what sport it is, some game. And she like waves her hands and is like, I need help. A man and his daughter picks her up, and some interesting things happen. They take her somewhere, and people just don't know if she walked away, if she's missing, if she's being held against her will somewhere, if she's dead somewhere. People don't really know what's going on with Miss Molly. But there's two perspectives that the book is told through. So one chapter will be the mother's experience, and then the other chapters are from Nicole's perspective. And Nicole is trying to track down her mom, because pretty much like what the police say makes sense. Like, even though she might have just voluntarily walked away from her life, like everybody's supposed to be able to be found. So they're like, we should be able to find her. Like, this is really strange that we can't find her. Like a different spin, I feel like, on like a missing persons thriller. And it was just, I don't know, it's interesting. I don't want to give too much away, but I did like, there's a little girl that's a character in this book, and I really enjoyed her character. Definitely like a juicy thriller. There's a lot going on with the daughter, Nicole. There's a lot going on with the husband. There's another son. There is a daughter that they lost long ago. And then, yeah, the mom with this man and this little girl. So there's like a lot of different things going on, and it made it really intriguing and really fun. Super fast paced. I read it in one night. I really, really loved it. Loved it. With the final tier system, I'll put up what my final tier rating is after all is said and done. But I think I will put this in the 4th spot, below The Night Before. I really did enjoy Don't Look for Me, but like, again, we're comparing like apples to apples. We're really, really nitpicking here when it comes to ordering them, because they're all really great books. Well, I would say my 1 through 3 spot are the most like psychological thrillers. And All Is Not Forgotten. But I would say that Don't Look for Me and What Remains is a little less psychological thriller and more just feels like a thriller. If I had to compare her to anybody, I would say if you like Alex Michaelides, if you liked like Maiden, Silent Patient, The Fury, I think you would really enjoy Wendy Walker's book. It has similar vibes to like Stacey Willing, a little more psychological thriller than like Lisa Jewell. I remember who I originally thought you could relate her to, and that is Megan Golden. So like if you really enjoyed Dark Corners or The Night Swim, I feel like Wendy Walker's books have like a similar vibe. They're not podcast books, but they have like that similar, I don't know, I feel like they have like a similar vibe to them. If you enjoyed their books, I think you would really enjoy Wendy Walker's books. They are short, like popcorn thrillers, but they're also twisty and psychological. They're very fun. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. Please let me know if you've read any Wendy Walker or what you think, or if there's any authors you think I might like that are like Wendy Walker. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video very soon.